baptism service. All right. Today we're going to pick up the word on the journey to the promised land. We've been reading through our 90-day Bible reading program, and we've read all the Pentateuch, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. We're on our way into Joshua. But through all that process, they've been on a journey to get to the promised land. As they go to Joshua, they actually cross the river, and they're on their other side to the promised land. And I said, well, that's really what we're looking for, right? How many are on your way to the promised land? We just finished the song that helped us know that. We're on our way there. Come, Jesus, come. And we're looking forward to him coming again and taking us home. And come, Jesus, come. Take us to the promised land. And the doors are going to open wide. The trumpet's going to sound. And you and I are going to go home to be with the Lord forever. But in the meantime, we're waiting for him to come. But in the meantime, we're on a journey through or to the promised land. Not through the promised land, because this is not the promised land. Thank God for all the blessings he had given them on their journey. And we'll take a look at it, but there's some things I want to point out to you as our introduction. And, I always have to have a 45-minute introduction to my 10-minute sermon. But one, God, in the beginning, God made man and woman, and he wanted them to be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth, and he wanted them to be his people. I believe, I have no knowledge of this, but I believe, had Eve not offered Adam that sour fruit, this tastes bad, Adam, try it. Had she not offered and had Adam not eaten that fruit, I believe God still would have come in the cool of the evening and walked with us. Because his intention was to walk among us. In fact, when he came back and captured the people out of Egypt and drew them out of slavery and brought them over the Red Sea and brought them into the place where he was ready to inhabit the promised land with them, he said, I want you to keep the camp clean because I'm going to walk among you. I will be with you. He didn't want to step in anything. So he kind of gave that idea. Carry a little shovel with you when you go outside there and cover things up because I'm going to walk among you. And I want to be blessed as I walk with you and walk among you. I will go with you. And, he did the same thing through Christ. The Bible said, wherever 2 or 3 of you are gathered together in fellowship, I will be there in the midst of them. So he wants to be here with us. He wants to walk with us and fellowship with us. However, he walks with us and fellowships with us in a spiritual sense now because of sin that's in the world. And I believe that sin that separated man actually separated us from the close fellowship that we're supposed to have with God. But now he's intending to draw us back to that fellowship again. He's intending to draw us back to, in fact, being in us. We were talking about Emmanuel, and I'll get there as we get further down. But I wanted to let you know, God wanted to be with his chosen people. Not frozen people, not dozing people, but chosen people. Chosen by God. He selected you. He said, you didn't come to me or find me. I came to you and found you. You didn't call me. I called you. And the reason we responded was because he came to us and knocked on the door's heart and spoke to us. In fact, if it weren't for the Holy Spirit drawing us, none of us would have come. How sad. We'd have been content to be lost. And that's what the problem is. We have a world around us who is content to be lost. We need to pray, Holy Spirit, reach out and touch them and draw them to you and use us to do it. And let that drawing make a difference in their life and draw them in. So, a chosen people. You have not chosen me, I have chosen you. In Peter, he says, you are a royal priesthood, a chosen people, chosen by God. So, on our journey, remember, God made Adam and Eve for fellowship, and he wants to have fellowship with you and me. He wants to be in us and with us. In fact, Jesus even told his disciples, I will never leave you nor forsake you. So we're never alone. We're always in his presence. And so on the way to the promised land, even though we haven't got there, we're still walking with him here, and he's walking with us now. But as we walk together, there's a certain level of requirements. And so we want to encourage you today to walk in the fellowship with God, and not reject the requirements. I know that's so difficult because all of us want to do our own thing. But let me tell you, there is a way that seems right to a man, and the end thereof are the ways of death. And Jesus said, I want you to know the way. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me. So we're encouraged to walk just like the journey of the Israelites as they journeyed to the promised land. We're encouraged to walk in fellowship with him in the same way, a chosen people following him. But you remember what happened was his chosen people rejected his plan, his principles, and his work. And through that rejection, they came into slavery. You know, they came into bondage. They ended up down in Egypt under Pharaoh.